how does one make a difference between your thoughts and a cat's? Who else experienced this kind of question? Like, how do I know it's the cat's? How do I know it's mine? Who else? I'm just curious. How many of us wonder about that? Or you could share your experience. How do you know the difference between it's the animal that's speaking or communicating and what's yours? So this is where the internal speech comes in, because the internal speech comes in as you hear your own thoughts. So how else, let's have a think about this, right? How else can the animal communicate with us if it's not through our experience? So again, if we stop thinking about animal communication as external to us, as outside of ourselves, which I think often we are looking for that as a proof. You know, it's like if I hear a booming voice suddenly coming out from nowhere when I've asked a question, it's like, oh, of course, you know, I can then say that's the animals. But I also think that's going to freak us out. And animal communication to me doesn't work that way. So when you recognize that animal communication, as in animals communicating, species communicating. So I like to use an example of a tree communicating to you. Do you question whether it's the tree communicating to you, or is it your own thoughts? Or do you tend to question that more when you're communicating with your own pets, that you're wondering whether it's them or you? Okay, so recognize that animals communicating to us telepathically is actually an internal experience. And how do we have that internal experience? A sensation, an emotion, a visual, a smell, a sound, a taste. Start there, because when you are wondering whether it's your own thoughts or whether it's the animal communicating to you, you have actually translated that information, but you did not recognize you translated it. I hope that's kind of what I'm able to explain. Let me see if that makes sense, Sunita. Right? So when you get a thought in your head, so you asked your cat a question like, where have you hidden your toy? Okay, and then you get a thought that says under the bed. Okay, understandably you'll be going, that could be my own thought, right? But I'm always going to say to you, you know what, go check it out, right? Animal communication is also about not worrying about whether it's right or wrong. Just go and check it out. If it's not under the bed, okay, say to yourself, I'm going to try another one. Don't overanalyze why it wasn't under the bed. Say to yourself, okay, I'm going to try another question. I want to keep trying, all right? But what will happen is that, say, I'm going to use the scenario. You say to your cat, where have you hidden your toy? Where is it? And then you get a word or a thought that says under the bed. When you got that, what I want you to do is say to yourself, did you get a visual? Did you get one of those intuitive senses? Did you get a sensation? Did you get an emotion? Okay, because before that thought came into your mind, even though it was a microsecond, I don't know, 99% guarantee you would have received intuitive senses for you to have translated it. Now, if you're not able to almost like backtrack to see whether you receive intuitive senses, then it's actually okay to go, that could have been my own thoughts. Yeah, so that's how I check whether they are my own thoughts or whether they're communications from animals. But the other thing I'll also say as well is that we are actually pretty clear when we think about something. We're pretty clear when it's our own thoughts. Like, You could be washing dishes and suddenly you go, oh, I forgot about next door neighbor. I was supposed to pop round to see them. You know that thought came from you. Yeah, it's not like the thought came to you. So these are really subtle recognitions so it's about awareness. So the short answer to your question, Sunita, is awareness. Start to be aware of when you are thinking your own thoughts, right? And I tell you what's the best thing to know whether it's your own thoughts: worry thoughts. If you worry a lot, you know they are your own thoughts. It has a different kind of, you experience it differently. It comes from you. You created those worry thoughts. Yeah. So communications from our animals is almost like, oh, but I want you to double check. I want you to check yourself and go, okay, when I got that information that I'm thinking is from my animal, just before that, what intuitive senses did I get? Okay, so that's my way of checking. And by checking it that way, I have really, really grown in confidence.